Hello there. Okay, so this is part 2 of the navigation component video, so let's dive in. So moving on to the next point, let's do the basket next. So what we're probably going to need actually is if I go back to the style guide and go to icons, we're going to need a basket icon. So if I go to feather icons, okay, there we go. So it's under shop, not basket. You have to try a few different terms before you get what you need. Let me just copy that. Let's close this. Let's go in here. I'm just going to Command V and paste that in. Yeah, so the vectors are inside there. That should be fine. I'm just going to select all vectors here, press Command E to flatten them into one vector. We're running 24 by 24, so that's fine here. I'm pretty sure we need to go in and set the vector to scale, which it is, so that's good. Let's leave it as shopping cart, press Command Option K. That has created us a new component. Let me just double check the color is correct. So we're using neutral 900 and that is not neutral 900. So let's just apply that. Let's lock that again. I need to go to assets and I'm probably going to need to publish this file. So let's go up here, click on publish. Okay, just leave a note in there. Click on publish. Okay, that publishes our style guide again. So let's go back to our UI kit. Right, so let's add another section beneath. Just duplicate this. Just delete that for now, don't need that. Let's go and grab us an icon slot. That should be good. Let's go inside the slot. Let's change chevron down and change it to shopping cart. And I shall amend that there because I thought it was called trolley. Just going to wrap this in a shape. So let's wrap it in a frame. Let's just round the corners. Let's give it a background color as well. So let's see. Let me just do that for now, just so I can see what I'm looking at. Okay, so let's have a look. So I imagine the standard state would be, that's like a neutral color. So that would be our enabled state, hovered state. So let's match our existing palette up here. So that's Sapphire 300. Let's add that in there. Might want to invert that icon as well because it may look a little bit better there. Okay, so what I'll probably do for focused is if I go back to neutral 0, whoops, let's go back here, let's go back to neutral 900. Okay, let's add a stroke to it as well, so it's going to be neutral 900. And last but not least, let's add in an activated state. Just try and remember what this is. So it's 400. Let's go to 400. Okay, let's select all of them. Let's go up here. Let's create multiple components. There we go. So they've all been created. Now we're going to combine as variants. Now this is going to be our shopping cart. I'll do camel case here. So if I just adjust that, put it there for now. And let's just check what we have here. So maybe if I press Shift A, this will make my life a little bit easier. Okay, so we better go in there. These are our states. Let's just adjust our component. All right, so let's take our enabled component. Let's copy and paste that out. Let's go into our nav bar up here and let's just Command V and paste that in. Okay, that's good. It's already pushing it into the right area that I want it to. So it's evenly distributing the elements. Okay, what I might do is I might wrap this in another frame, so Shift A. I'm going to wrap it in a container, mainly because we're going to put in the account profile icon as well. Let's set it as 16 for now, and let's just see what that looks like. Let's just set everything else up, so 0, 0, 0. I might have missed out a few spacing variables here and there, but I can go back at the end and check this before we publish the component. Okay, so we've done the basket. Not the basket, we've done the shopping cart. Now onto the account. Let's go in here, let's duplicate this. I'm going to delete out this component because I don't need it. Okay, so same again. Let's go back into the style guide. Let's go to our icons page and let's have a look at what icons we have. Let's go into our plugins. Let's load feather icons. Now this is profile. Let's have a look. So that comes up under account. So I think that would be a good icon to use. Let's click on that. Go in here, Command V. Let's change the color. So neutral 900. So to be consistent, let's go inside and flatten these vectors. So Command E, Okay, that's 24 by 24. That's set to scale and scale. So let's press Command Option K. I'm going to go through. I always like to lock my layers just in case I accidentally drag and drop something somewhere. So back into Assets, back into our libraries. So click on the libraries icon up there, click on Publish, and we'll just add a note here. All right, let's publish that. Great, that's now published. I can go into the UI kit. Now, probably going to be similar states. So let's copy out this. So let's get rid of this. Let's detach the shopping cart. I'll just call it account for now. Go into the icon slot. Let's just swap that out for user. So this is going to actually be enabled. This one will be hovered. Press I on the keyboard. Hold shift on the keyboard. So you can see it's selected the color, but if I click, it's just going to put in the hex code. So here, but it's going to detach my design system color. So if I press I on the keyboard again, hold shift on the keyboard, and now if I click, it then applies my design system color, which is what we want. Again, let's go in here. Let's change this to neutral. There we go. So we can see it. Let's go to the stroke. I think we use neutral 900. So that's our focused. And last of all, let me just press Command D on that. This is activated, so activated. Now let's press I on the keyboard, hold shift, click, and that applies our brand color. Okay, so let's select all of these, create multiple components, combine as variants, and now let's press Shift A, make sure they're in a vertical layout. Okay, so let's grab our account, let's copy out the enabled state, let's go up here. Okay, let's make sure we're inside the container. Let's click next to shopping cart. Let's try that again. There we go. Okay, now is that enough space? 16 pixels. We've got a bit more space, so let's make that 24. Just because when these things are active, there needs to be enough space between them. So I think that's fine. Okay, so we've done quite a lot of work. I think this is a good starting point. Let's click here, let's go to navigation bar, let's press Command Option K, create that as a component. Let me just option click and drag. Let's have a quick look at how this is going to work with one of the states on. So if you were using this component, you could easily go in, as these nav links, the shopping cart and the account have all got the different states. You could go in, click on the component and go in and just adjust the state. Same with here, so if we went to click on our account drop down and it was activated, that's what it would look like. Okay, I think that looks good for a first draft. There's lots of different things you can put on these pages. I think documentation is key, so you could probably put lots of documentation on how you want the components to be used, if there are any limitations or if there are any notes that you want to share with your developers, you can put them on here as well. Okay, so for now I'm happy with this, but when we come to piecing together our design, so putting the navigation, the footer, different elements together, and if we find there's a bit of a visual disconnect, we can always come back into this file and make the adjustments. So this is version 1 of many, because no doubt when you're building out a design system, there are always changes and there are always refinements to these components. Okay, so when I'm designing, I want to be able to use the navigation bar. I probably don't need to have access to these individual components. I'm just going to put an underscore at the beginning of them, so when I publish the file, I'm not able to use them on their own. So now what we want to do is we want to publish this component so we can use it in different files. So if I go up here to libraries, click on publish, I'm just going to add in here some notes. Okay, I'm going to click on publish, and there we go. The library is all up to date. Okay, so like I said before, this is version 1. It may change as we go forward in this project, but this is a great starting point. So what we'll do in the next video, we'll take a look at our footer component. So we'll go into our wireframes, we'll check out the footer, and we'll see if we can recreate a footer component in our UI kit. Okay, just a quick update at the end. I have changed the focus state here for our nav links, as I was getting a little bit too much layout shift with putting this text inside a container. When you were using the main component, it was shifting the text a little bit too much. So what I've done for now is the focus state for the nav links, I've just put an underline there to signify focused. Okay, one additional thing I've also done as well is I've expanded the states for each of these components. So I've added enabled, hovered, focused, pressed, activated and disabled, and I've made that consistent across the nav links, the shopping cart, and the account. These are fairly common states to use in design system components. That was something I missed during the video, so I wanted to add those additional states in before we continue. So as you can see, we're using our different palette colors. Pressed have also added a shadow as well to add a little bit of elevation to that button when it's being pressed. So yeah, that's what we've done. We've added some additional states. I just wanted to add that at the end. Okay, that's it for this video. Thanks for getting to the end. Like and subscribe, add some comments, check out some other videos on my channel. So yeah, if you have any comments or questions, drop them in the comments and I'll do my best to help. So keep following along and I will see you in the next video. Oh good, we've got a plane going across now. Planes, pigeons, what else begins with P? I'm sure there'll be something.
Okay.